Hey, my name is Rowan Smith and I want to welcome you to the Training for Trekking podcast. Now, this is the world's very first podcast which is entirely dedicated to helping you train, prepare and conquer your upcoming hike, trek or mountain adventure. So once a week, I'm going to be giving you quality and practical information on the subjects of physical preparation for trekking, dealing with altitude and nutrition on the trail, so you can know everything you need to be doing to have the best chance of a safe, enjoyable and successful adventure. So now you know what you're in for, let's get into today's episode. Alright, hello guys. Today we are talking all about progressions for elevation training, and specifically how you can progress your stair and hill interval training without just having to add on extra weight. Now, we all know that stair and hill interval can be a great way of preparing for an elevation hike, particularly if you don't have access to any type of elevation on your normal training hikes. And I know a lot of hikers and trekkers out there absolutely love this type of training because it's super specific. It feels really good. It's a genuine challenge, and for many people, it's a lot more convenient than having to go out hiking all the time. So the usual process of this sort of goes, someone will find a convenient hill or set of stairs in their local area. They'll go up and down the stairs for a few weeks, then they'll start putting a little bit of weight in the form of a backpack, and then week by week, they keep on adding a little bit of weight. Maybe every once in a while add on a little bit of another set. And this can be a really effective way of going about things, but it is relatively limiting to some extent. There will always come a point where people will either run out of time, so they can't keep on adding on extra sets, or they'll run up to the stage where they can't put any more extra weight on. Now, maybe this is the case where you put like 20 kilos in your pack and you're a bit hesitant to keep on going heavier because you're not 100% sure how great that will be for the body. Maybe it's a case of you've maxed out the load carrying capacity of the actual backpack you're wearing, and your backpack only recommends you carry 14 kilos and you don't want to push that. Or it might be the case of you just want something just to mix things up a little bit more and you're sort of sick of just adding weight on and you want something a little bit different. And I know many hikers do come into this particular situation, and for my clients working for myself, I try to avoid this actually happening and coming to the point where you don't really know how to progress things. I like to keep things a little bit more proactive and stay on top of this a little bit earlier. But for people who are just doing it by themselves, who might not have 100% knowledge around what they can be other things they can be doing to progress this type of training, it might end up with a bit of a roadblock. So the intention of this podcast today is just to give you a few different ideas on how you can progress your stair or hill interval training, which doesn't just involve adding extra weight, and it doesn't just involve adding extra repetitions, or for convenience sake, it doesn't force you to go find another longer or steeper set of stairs or a longer, steeper hill. So I've got three big different ways you can go about progressing this type of training, which, they're all got different pros and cons to them, and you can sort of apply these as you would. Now, the first method of progressing this, which doesn't involve weight, is simply doing a bit of pre-fatiguing at the bottom of each interval. Now, what I mean by this is just doing a few particular exercises at the bottom of each interval to get the legs slightly tired before you start moving. Now, what this will do is it will just make all the movement actually going up the hill or up the stairs a little bit more difficult because the legs are already tired. It'll add a little extra training stimulus, and it's a really simple way of progressing these types of workouts without adding on extra weight. Now, generally, I'll keep things super simple here, and I'll just recommend my clients do a combination of squats and squats and lunges down at the bottom of each hill. So they might do 10 squats and 10 lunges on each leg and then do an interval. Then come back down the bottom, 10 squats, 10 lunges, go up. And then you can progress this by slowing down the movements of the squats or the lunges. You could even wear your pack while you're doing it, or you could add in extra repetitions. And that's a really simple way of going about it. Previously, if I've been trying to make up time on an interval, meaning if a set of stairs isn't quite as long as we want, we might do squats and lunges at the bottom, climb the stairs, squats and lunges at the top, and then return down the bottom. But you can get pretty creative with this. The reason why I say squats and lunges, it just doesn't involve you having to have any equipment or getting on the floor or anything like that, but you can literally get as creative as you like there. But simply pre-fatiguing the legs a little bit before you go up the elevation can be a really easy way of progressing this type of training. The second method is changing your load placement. Now, the other week I was talking about progressions for strength exercises, in which I was saying if you simply place the load or the weight that you're carrying in different parts of your body, you can basically progress and make an exercise harder. And the same thing goes for your stair climbing. Now, usually most people will just have their load in their pack or in a weights vest, which is perfectly fine, and 99% of the time that's going to be appropriate. But you can mix things up by swapping around your weight in different areas. So for example, you might wear a loaded pack and then you might carry a couple of dumbbells, and there might just be 3 or 4 kilos, but carry them on the way up. Now what that's going to do is it's going to add a little bit of weight in different areas. It's going to challenge your grip strength, and it's also going to just disperse the weight a little bit, take out your arm movements so much, and really make it a little bit more difficult. Now, if your hands tend to get super tired here, you can simply carry one dumbbell and just hold it on one side until one arm gets tired, swap over to the other side until another arm gets tired. Really simple. Another way of doing this is if you hold one dumbbell up on your chest around about chin height and literally hold that as you're going up. That can sort of change your posture a little bit. It can make sure you're very slow and controlled going up. It can challenge the core a little bit extra, and it's just a bit of a challenge. Now, if you have any types of balance issues, that's probably not a great thing for you to be doing, but it's an option for you. And the other thing is you could hold a weight on one shoulder, or you could hold a med ball in your arm, so you could just do anything and literally just swapping around the load placement. So you might still be using the same amount of weight that we do previously. So you might still have, say, 15 kilos in total, but you might end up having 10 kilos in your pack and 5 kilos somewhere else in your body. And that can be a really simple way of mixing things up. And then the final thing I want to talk about today is changing your stepping pattern, which can be a really easy way of mixing up a stair interval session, but it's something that's quite often overlooked. And what I mean by this is, we generally have a natural way we like to step. So if we're going up a particular set of stairs, it might involve us going one step at a time, and that might feel good to us. It might involve us doing 2 steps at a time, that might feel good to us, or whatever. And simply just changing up the way that you do this can be a really easy way of mixing things up. So if you find like you're always doing 1 step at a time, you might challenge yourself by doing 2 steps at a time every single interval, or every second interval, or however you want to do it, or the opposite way of going around. You can also do sort of side to side walking, so you're going to be facing to the side and laterally step up the stairs. On the next flight of stairs, go the other way, laterally step up, and that's going to challenge you in a bit of a different way. And you can pretty much do any variation of that. You can zigzag up the stairs, you can sort of do 1 stair, 2 stairs, 1 test, 2 stairs, like literally however you want, and you can mix it up like that. But that's another way of just sort of slightly changing up a workout once you've topped out of that maximum weight and that maximum time you want to commit, which can sort of give you a new stimulus, give you a new challenge, and just keep your fitness moving forward. So if you have been doing stair or hill intervals for a while now, and you have been looking for something else to mix things up a little bit, give one of those options a go. Do a little bit of pre-fatiguing down the bottom, change the load placement a little bit, change your stepping pattern. They're really easy ways of mixing up your training, keeping things fresh, and just tricking the body into thinking it's a brand new workout. So that's literally it from me today, guys. Very short episode today, but hopefully a few people get some good insights and some good ideas from that. If you ever do apply this into your training and you want a bit of an advice or a bit of extra insight into how to best go about it, please do feel free to reach out to me anytime on the Training for Hiking and Trekking Facebook group. I'm always happy to answer questions on there. Always happy to dive a little bit deeper into things I talk about, and always happy to share a little bit extra knowledge. So I hope you've enjoyed this episode today, guys. Hope you got a little bit out of it. Have a lovely day, and we'll talk to you soon. Bye.